Hi everyone, this is Satyajit. Today we are going to start with a new module, a new service called EC2. Okay, EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. It means it's just the naming representations of a virtual machine or a computer. Okay, we can call it as a computer. So in the Amazon terminology, we call it as a EC2 instance. Okay, so now we are going to discuss how to create a EC2 server in the EC2 services, right? How to create a virtual machine or how to create an instance, how to start it, how to stop it, and what is its life cycle, and how many steps are there to create an EC2 instance. And we are going to discuss in each in detail. Okay. So to start with, to create an EC2 instance, if you create a launch instance, okay, so there are multiple steps involved. Okay, if you go one by one, first is saying the name and tags, that is one. Second is something called Amazon machine image. Third one is we need to create instance type. Fourth is we need to create a key pair to log in. Fifth is the network settings. Sixth one, the storage. And seventh one is your advanced settings. That's it. So there are 7 steps involved to create a EC2 instance. So on this way, now first one is name and tags, right? So what is the name of the server, name of the instance? So anything random name you can give it. Let's say I'm going to do that. Let's say testing hyphen EC2, something. You can give any random name. First one's name is there. Second one is saying Amazon machine image, okay, AMI. Okay, so someone called as AMI, someone called as AMI, someone called image. Okay, so which is nothing but your operating system. Operating system means like either it is a Windows, either it is a Linux, or it's a Mac operating system, anything, right? So now to create anything like we need to create a machine, so we require its image, right? That bootable image, how the system will boot. Like we need to configure Windows, we require that Windows image, and we need to install Ubuntu, we require Ubuntu image. Just like that, all the AMIs are available. AMI is called as a Amazon machine image. Okay, and here if you say if you browse more AMI, all the AMI will be available. So you want Red Hat, you can select for Red Hat. If you want Ubuntu, you can select for Ubuntu, SUSE, everything. Okay, and there is something called Quick Start AMI, My AMIs, AWS Marketplace AMIs, and Community AMIs. Quick Start AMIs means nothing but the default AMIs which is available. You can choose that. Okay, when you do initially, it will get. My AMI means your own AMI. It means, let's say you created one. So there is a requirement. You created one EC2 instance initially, and on that EC2 instance, you install some of the applications, you added some of the users, and multiple applications you have installed, and you need to do for 10 server. You need to repeat it for the 10 server. So there is one way we can create a 10 server, and you log into the server and install everything. Once that is done, next go to the second one, next third one. Like that, you have to do the 10 steps. Okay, which is time taking, more time consuming, and it is a effort, like human effort. So another way is we will create everything in one single server, and on that single server we install everything and configuring it, and we'll take an image of that machine. And next server which we are going to create, it will boot from the image which we created, not for the actual image. So that what will happen when the server will be created, new server, it has all the data which is available already on the first one, the data will be available. That is called your my AMI. It means your own AMI. You need to create your own AMI. Third one is the marketplace, right? So marketplace means just like understand uh, some browsing site or something where you will get everything, just a shopping site, right? So that is called AWS Marketplace. It means, let's say I created some of my server and I sell to the marketplace so that it will be available on the AWS Marketplace. Next, anyone wants to use it, they need to purchase it. That is called AWS Marketplace. Okay, so there all the server and all the applications. If you want, you can sell to the AWS, and once it is approved and everything done, then it will be added to that marketplace so that anyone can use it. Okay, so that is called AWS Marketplace. Next is community AMI. Community AMI means we, me, you, and others, right? So all are community AMIs. Like, let's say I taken the image. So Linux is an open source. Okay. Where Windows is licensed one, Linux is open source. Like, all the code will be available on the market. You just put the code and you modify your accordingly, and it will come of your own operating system, right? So that is called community AMI. I changes something and I done testing, everything is done, then I listed into the community AMI. So you can take your own AMI. So this will be available. If you want Windows, just click on the Windows. And if you want Linux, you can just search for Linux or something. Okay, I just want Linux now. So I will search for the Linux or Amazon Linux. Already Amazon Linux is there. So you just need to select that Amazon Linux. So now I'm done with the second step. Second step is nothing but your image. Okay, which image you wanted. Next one is your name is added, image is added, right? Next one is talking about instance type. Instance type means it is a specifications, right? You have taken the operating system. Now you need to add how much processor and how much CPU for that. So that is called instance type, like your CPU and memory configurations. There is something called free tier eligible. Free tier eligible means if you take this instance type, you don't have to pay much. Okay, you don't have to pay the cost. But apart from this, if you are taking other instance which is not free tier, per hourly charges it will be billed, you need to pay that charges. Okay, so now if you click on this instance type, it will say T2 micro free tier eligible, which is 1B CPU, 1 GB of RAM. Okay, then depending on your requirement, T2 X large, depending on the requirement, 4B CPU, 16 GB RAM. So what will be your requirement? Depending on that, you can pick the instance type. So instance type is nothing but your CPU and memory specifications. Okay, so I am going out for free tier, so I'm not selecting anything. Once this instance type is done, next is key pair, means login. So how you will log in to the EC2 server once the server is created? So EC2 server work with the key-based authentications. It means you need to put your own keys, right? You need to, or EC2 works with private and public key pair. So you need to create your own key pair and give it to them. If you don't create a key pair, you can use your existing. So in the last videos, you already created one key. So I will use that key. Okay, or else you can create a new key. So once it's added, now key pair is done. Next one is the network settings. So this is the main thing from where we'll decide it whether it is public or private. Network setting means you are going to create an EC2 server. Okay, but that EC2 server should be placed in where? Okay, which virtual private cloud? It means you have created maybe dev environment, dev VPC, test VPC, prod VPC. Now the server which you are going to create, you need to put the server in which VPC, dev VPC or prod VPC, then which subnet, dev subnet or private subnet. So do you want public IP or not? So all these settings will be available in the network settings. So what you will do, you will just edit it. After that, which VPC? I'm going to use the VPC A. Then which subnet? So I want as a public subnet. Now it's saying auto assign public IP. Disable. If you disable means the server will not get a public IP, but we put the server in public subnet. It means we want the public IP to be enabled. So I need to enable it. Okay, that's it, done. Now network setting is done. Next one is the security group. Okay, security group is nothing but a called firewall or a basic term called a restrictions. It means now everything is created. Now just understand a door. Okay, now my door is open. It means anyone can come and anyone can do anything if the door is open. If the door is locked and there is a CCTV camera is installed something, so now someone has to enter to the room. Okay, so now what you will do, you can verify from the CCTV footage or CCTV camera who is coming to the room. Okay, so from there the identifications you will take it, so then only you will allow that person to come inside your room. Same way it is applicable for the security group. So security group act as a firewall. It means on the security group level, if I will allow something, right, then only that person can access to our server. It means I'm going to create a server. Now on the security group, if I open for the world, it means if the other users know the key pair, then they can also log into the server. But if I will restrict to the my IP only, if I restrict to the my IP, then only I can log in, other cannot log in, right? So that is called security group. Security group act as a firewall. So we will discuss more about security group and network ACL. So, but here just understand security group means nothing but as a firewall. So which will allow or which will decide who wants to access your server. Okay. Now you can create a own security group or you can create a existing security group. Select the existing. Let's say I'm using something called test security group, something I added. Okay. So once test added, it's saying SSH port because Linux work with SSH. Windows work with RDP 3389 port. But as I'm using Linux, so I used SSH 22 port anywhere. Anywhere means anyone can access. Instead of anywhere, I will just use my IP. So that what will happen? My IP it has taken. Okay. That is for inbound. Okay. Now, if you see for the advanced network settings, here all the network interface and everything, all details will be there, which is not required. Okay. Now the security group part is done. Now second is asking about the storage. Okay. So how much hard disk you want? Now you want to create a server. What will be the specifications of your root server? So on that specific, I only added 8 GB, but instead of 80, you can make it as 80. Okay. It's if you just need to use it. Free tier eligible customer can get up to 30 GB of EBS volume. It means up to 30 GB it is free. There will be no cost. If you add more than 30, then it will be paid one. Okay. Storage is done. Now all the details are similar. We don't require it. Now everything's fine. We can launch an instance. Again, once again, you have to give the name. Then you have to give a search for your operating system. Is nothing but your Amazon machine image. Next one is will be your instance type, like what are the specifications. Next, the key pair login. Okay, which key you need to use it. The next one is your network settings, like which VPC, which subnet. Okay, once the network setting is done, then it's talk about the storage. Okay, so once you do about the storage part, then we are good. Okay, on the networking setting also you need to check with the firewall if we allow or not. Okay, now launch an instance. So every step we followed, now instance we are launched. Now the instance is successfully launched. If you click on the instance, it will be in a pending state. Why? Because it is taking some time to boot up the process. Okay, and once the booting is done, we can verify the we can able to try to connect to the EC2 server, whether we are able to connect it or not. Okay, so we already specified all the AMIs, what is the instance type. Okay, already specified everything. Okay, now the instance is in running state. So what I will do, just select this instance and copy the public IP address, and here if I do SSH -i and VPC EC2 testing, now IPN EC2 user @IP. If I hit that, now I can able to log into the EC2 server. So 10.00.19, if you see 10.00.19. So now I am able to connect to the EC2 server. So I've created a EC2 instance and I'm able to connect to that EC2 instance. Okay, so once again, I'm repeating some of the steps. Okay, while creating the EC2 instance, you need to, what is the name of that instance and what are the tags you need to add it. Second thing is you need to go for the AMIs, but nothing but Amazon machine image and Amazon machine image. Again, there are multiple ways we can purchase it or you can use it. One is quick start AMI. We can go for and whatever you can do, like you can search for that AMI. Second one is like it's your my AMIs. My AMIs means you need to create your own AMI depending on requirement. Third one is you need to AWS Marketplace, which is nothing but as a AWS shopping store for AMIs. Like anyone can sell their AMIs there. Next one is your community AMIs. So community AMIs means like you, me, and other community. Like we need to create our own image and we can post it. That is called community AMI. Once the AMI is done, okay, we can just verify. We can Click on instance, click on launch instance. Okay, now name and tag we understood. Amazon machine image we understood. Next is instance type, depending on the requirement, right? Which is required and which is not. Okay, and how much is the specification, that is instance type. And then we need to add like key pair. Under network settings, we will need to add the VPC. Okay, which VPC we want, like depending on requirement, which subnet. And once the network setting is done, then storage part will do, and we can create a launcher instance. Once that is done, we can able to log in to the EC2 server. Okay, so in this video we discuss about the steps involved to create an EC2 instance. So next videos we'll discuss about more. Thank you for watching my video.